Hello, welcome to the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. For January, we're going to start our services with a beautiful song from Karen Drucker. In fact, it's the best prayer you could say all day long, any day at all. It's called Thank You for This Day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, healing, healing day. This healing, healing day. Ooh. Thank you for my friend, Spirit. Thank you for my friend. Thank you for my friend, Spirit. Thank you for my friend. My faith, my past, wonderful friend. My faith, my past, wonderful friend. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. My blessed, grateful, joyful life. My blessed, grateful, joyful life. Ooh. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. My wonderful breath, wonderful health. My joyful breath, wonderful health. Ooh. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, healing, healing 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 day. Oh, 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 yeah.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome. My name is Reverend Karen Lindsley. I am your interim minister here at Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. And I'd like to welcome all of you here on this lovely Sunday, January 31st of 2021. Can you believe a whole month has passed already? So I would like to just send out a thank you to the folks who are participating in our Sunday service today. Our technical guru wizard in the background, you don't see her face much, but Annette Martinez works in the background diligently and skillfully to present this Sunday service to us. We have on High Watch today Greg Gardner, Kathy Mathiasen, and our invocation today will be by Talia. And I am looking forward to having our vision and our mission statement queued up onto our screen so that we can all repeat it together. Our vision is transforming our world with the power of love and action. And our mission is loving all creation through spiritual growth and service, always staying true to our higher self. And now I would like to invite Talia up to do our practitioner invocation.
Good morning, everyone. If you would just please close your eyes and take a breath and Allow your hearts to drop into that space within and open to the divine that is always here with you, that is always here with us, that lives at the center of our being in every moment, in every way, and every day. That beloved being that comes to us first as love, and in all things, in all times, showing up when we least expect it. But showing up for sure this morning here at the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living in all of us, and all of those you see, and all of those who are present online, all of those who are here in spirit, as well as those who've gone before. And today we welcome you and invite you to open your hearts in love and in joy, in celebration of life, and the words and the joy and the oneness that we are and that we are a part of. And so this morning, I welcome you with great gratitude and great love to join us, all of us here, in this beautiful spirit of companionship, of oneness, individuality, harmony, beauty, humor, yes, love, laughter, fun, and expansion. So in that divine unlimitedness, please say with me in gratitude, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you very much, Talia. And our reading today was provided to us by our speaker, Reverend Tony Branford. I'll be talking a little bit more about him in a moment. The divine mind has placed an inner guide at the center of everyone's being, an intuition which causes us to feel with complete certainty that everything is all right. And of course, that's by Ernest Holmes. And now we have another song. So I'll invite the band back.
And here's a favorite from Sugarland called Stand Up.
All the lonely people crying, it could change if we just get started. Lift the darkness, light a fire for the silent and broken heart. Won't you stand up, stand up, stand up? Won't you stand up, you girls and boys? Won't you stand up, stand up, stand up? Won't you stand up and use your voice? There's a comfort, there's a healing high above the pain and sorrow. Change is coming, can you feel it? Calling us into a new tomorrow. Won't you stand up, stand up, stand up? Won't you stand up, you girls and boys? Won't you stand up, stand up, stand up? Won't you stand up and use your voice? When the walls fall all around you, when your hope has turned to dust. Let the sound of love surround you. Be like a heart in each other. Won't you stand up, stand up, stand up. Won't you stand up, you girls and boys. Won't you stand up, stand up, stand up. Won't you stand up and use your voice. Won't you stand up, stand up, stand up. Won't you stand up, you girls and boys? Won't you stand up, stand up, stand up? Won't you stand up and use your voice? Won't you stand up, stand up, stand up? Won't you stand up, you girls and boys? Won't you stand up, stand up, stand up? Won't you stand up and use your voice?
Thank you very much, Reverend. You're not a reverend yet. Kamatara, almost Kamatara. Thank you very much for that beautiful song and for the band. Our speaker today is a wonderful, dynamic, and humorous speaker. He's also a gifted teacher and a compassionate counselor. I met Reverend Tony when we were both in ministerial school, and I came to know him as an absolutely glorious spiritual presence, and I still experience him that way. Reverend Tony is a staff minister in Oakland, California at Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, and he works full-time at the San Francisco AIDS Foundation, is currently an associate director of community events and engagement there. His focus ministry is HIV/AIDS prevention throughout the San Francisco Bay Area. And Tony has joined us this morning to talk about the time is now to lead from the heart. And so I'd love to introduce Reverend Tony Bradford. Yay!
Hey, hey. Oh, thank you, thank you. Well, if I could add my thank you. Thank you, Kamatara and musicians for the wonderful music. Annette in the background who got me online this morning. Chaplain Talia for that beautiful prayer to open us up today to receive the message. And also lots of love back at you, Reverend Karen, for the warm welcome and the invitation to speak. So greetings, Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living community, friends and family, and a very special welcome to guests who have joined us on this virtual service this morning. Again, I'm Reverend Tony Bradford, and I have to say I'm one of 4 staff ministers at Oakland Center for Spiritual Living in Oakland, California. And technology is bringing you from my home, which is in Alameda, California. And I'm on the eastern part of the San Francisco Bay. Again, I'm honored and excited for this invitation to talk virtually on this last Sunday on the first month of 2021. All right, so now I'm kind of jealous. I wish I was there in New Mexico, and I hope to be with you all one day when it's all clear. And I can't wait to stay a while, explore. Visiting New Mexico is one of my top things on my bucket list, and I just want to see your beautiful part of the Southwest. Fun fact. I am currently at 52 feet above sea level, and you all in Albuquerque, New Mexico is at 5,312 feet. So the last time I was up that high, it was in the Colorado mountains, and they sold oxygen in a can. loved it. So I might need some when I come visit you guys and carry it around for, just in case I need it. Spray it on me. It's like Evian in a can. So as I get started today, I prepare for my talk just by laying everything around and research and pull all my information. And today I'm reminded that traditionally, the beginning of the year, in most Science of Mind centers, we revisit the first 4 or 5 chapters from the Science of Mind text, repeating the basics of Ernest Holmes. So I'll start off my talk today honoring that tradition of sharing some Science of Mind history and give a little context on the theme my center is using or following for 2021. Also, I'll weave in what came up for me to share with you all using your center's theme. There's the book on spiritual leadership. Lastly, I will love to drop some knowledge on how we, all of us, can add to our spiritual practices, especially in 2021. So, Oakland Center for Spiritual Living is following the theme of timeless wisdom, evolutionary vision for 2021. That theme is inspired or shared by a committee of senior ministers from other centers, and it's a posting from home office for us to use if we choose. So I'll break down the theme a little just to show you where I'm coming from today. So the first part of the theme, timeless wisdom, it brings me back to the basics. Like I talked earlier, how in the beginning of the year, we sort of go back to basics of the Science of Mind text. And that'll include, or can include, history of New Thought and lessons learned from the ancient and the sacred texts of the past that Ernest Holmes penned in his pages of the Science of Mind text. I like to be reminded that the Science of Mind, that Science of Mind stands on the shoulders of giants. And these folks were not afraid to share, especially in the beginning. We're talking Mary Eddy Baker. They would stand on corners, be invited to men's groups, and they'll share some of their new ways of thinking, especially the beginning of New Thought. And especially in areas that we're not used to hearing a lot of information those ancient folks, not ancient, but those historians brought to light. So when I think how hard it was to talk about New Thought back in the day, the second part of the theme, evolutionary vision, gives you the permission to boldly open your eyes, speak the truth in your life, and all of us to shine our light. And especially now in 2021 New Year, we are also to level up our spiritual practices. And what I mean is we got to evolve. We got to keep moving forward. We got to continue to increase our consciousness forward to see and know new horizons. So briefly, recognizing spiritual leadership within is a great way to move your center, your family, yourself. Now is the time to lead from a consciousness of love. So I want to recognize, this creating the beloved community, written by Reverend Jim Lockard. And it's a guidebook. It says right here, handbook, and I think it's a good base for teaching you the standard, I guess, in spiritual leadership. But I'm going to put a little twist on it. So I love to read, and it's one of the big reasons a lot of us are attracted to this philosophy. So as we continue to learn from great authors like mine, it's time to also add a few more things. I want you or us, and I'm big at this at my center, is to start using what you know and start living your life. And that's the gift for all of us. Start sharing those spiritual practices. Start adding to your toolbox of spiritual practices. And I'm going to give you some real talk today. You know, it's time. It's time, and you're the one we are seeking. So, as I go back and remind myself, one of the things I love to do and share with others, and this is good when your friends and family question why you are a science of mind follower, is the definition of science of mind. And Miss Google is always fun to find some facts and quotes. And this one comes from Wikipedia. So I'm going to read it to you. The Science of Mind is a book by Ernest Holmes. It proposes a science with a new relationship between humans and God. Holmes' writings details how people can actively engage their mind in creating change throughout their lives. Good. Explanations on how to pray, meditate, and heal oneself spiritually. Find self-confidence, here's the kicker, and express love. Led Ernest Holmes to believe Science of Mind is a philosophy, a faith, and a way of life. We're done. We can just leave now, right? That's a wonderful, wonderful definition of what we know and what a lot of us have been studying or discovered these past years. So I highly recommend you look that up, put it on your refrigerator, or send it to somebody that sort of doesn't understand what we are all about. So first slide, Annette, please. So preparing we ministers in ministerial school, and Reverend Kale remember this class. It was called World Religions. I totally enjoyed it because as a gay Black man growing up in the Jehovah's Witness philosophy, I was all confused. And it was so wonderful to dive into other religions and find out what is the dogma out there? What is really the truth out there? We always talk about there's nothing to be healed, truth revealed. So I love this class, and we studied, we discussed, and shared each other's religious backgrounds and journeys. Plus read about the many world religions and the spiritual leadership that kept those religions going through time. Also, with many of the church teachings, preaching was big. And just a reminder, Ernest Holmes never wanted Science of Mind to become a religion. We basically had to evolve into a religion so we can keep the practice going. He basically wrote it as an adjunct or a side book to help others kind of understand what's going on. So, two things that were a big lesson for me that I took away from this class. The world's religions are all on a path trying to get to God. It's like, okay, what's up? Where am I trying to go? They're all trying to get to the same place. So whether they discuss it within, around them, Santa Claus up in the sky with a white beard, they're all trying to get to the same place. Annette, can you put on slide 2? And to end this section, the foundation that I discovered, and that light bulb went off, especially in classes as we discussed, all the world religions have some sort of, excuse me, some sort of basis involving love. So whatever the dogma, the rules, how it's taught, how it's fiercely expressed varies. But what I found out is that they all are recognizing God, and it's leading by love. It's believing that we all are one. So, that's so enlightening when, as a religious scientist, you just know that our base, or Ernest Holmes, plus a lot of ministerial students and, practitioners, we know that truth. And it's so excited to look back at these things. And especially going into 2021, it's a way to walk and talk what we know. So your action, or your call to action today, we're the ones we've been waiting for. Spiritual leadership is not just me. It's not Reverend Kay. It's not just, this minister is going to come back and shepherd you. It's all of us. All right. It's spiritual leadership, and it's a path that is within. And as we shelter in grace, it's your opportunity in 2021 to lead by love, to really, really hone in the lessons of spiritual leadership and be that leader and show that leader. So slide 3, please, Annette. Here's one of my favorite images. And this sort of is a spiritual community. We, not saying we elevate the leader, but we hire, we connect with that person. And I'll give you some tips on why we follow some leaders. But this image is a good reminder of both of our spiritual communities, Oakland and Rio Grande. We look for the same love in our centers, in our ministers, in our practitioners, and spiritual leadership is inside all of us. So each of these figures have a heart. That's where you lead from. And that's when you're successful. And I love sharing this because there's everyone here has a part of this spiritual community. Slide 4, please, Annette. So this slide, it's a little fuzzy. It was, when I pulled it up, it was like an inch. But it's a fact that I've experienced in my 40 years on this planet. And I, in my professional work and my community work, even marching bands, this is something I look for in leaders. And these are a few tips, the 7 tips that I'll kind of leave with you. And these same tips can be put into your tool bag as your spiritual practices. So again, you can just go within and start to build up that strength inside. So all of us will be spiritual leaders in our community. So the quick story, marching band, I said, there was a time when you see us, we band nerds, I'm out in that sun, I'm, sweating and, it's chewing gum and walking at the same time. But why I am there and I believe in what we're doing is that I believe in the vision of the person that's leading us. It's a band director, it's a person that developed the program that we're going to be in. And then once you start to feel it and be part of it, and you know that people on your left and your right are also doing the same thing, it's amazing. I've won the World Championships twice with the group that I was in, and we were floating at the final performance. And when everyone is with you, all on the same accord, all in the same thought, believing the vision that we can do it, number one, it was the best feeling I've ever had. And I know a lot of actors talk about that feeling, especially when they're doing live performances and you're feeding off the crowd, you're feeding off the person beside you, and also you're seeing the vision and you're feeling it. So the 7 C's are important for me, and it's a new twist on adding good stuff to your spiritual practices. And this year, I'm going to be beating that into my my center, and every time I talk, wherever it is that's the basics of science of mind. And if you go back to the beginning of the text, Ernest Holmes talks about all the things, recognition and oneness, and again, using the things that we know, affirmation, treatments, and meditation. So the big thing that again, that I want to add to this book that you're reading is the most successful leaders lead with their heart. You love them, not crazy love, but you feel them, you know them. It's authentic. My quick story. My CEO just resigned this week. I feel like so I got broke up by a boyfriend, and I don't know what's wrong. But he had a lunchtime Zoom meeting on Thursday to kind of talk to people who wanted to tune in to really discuss, his journey and his leaving us. I've been through 3 or 4 directors at my agency, so 5 years seems to be, the key there. But he was well liked. He listened. He had an open door policy, and I truly, you say that all the time, or people say that all the time, and people are scared to pop their head in. But he truly did, and he listened to frontline staff. He listened to managers. I was bold. I always went in there and talked to him. So I'm excited for him and his next journey to his next position. And he's really thoughtful about his leaving and where he's going. So those kind of leaders, they leave you with a good feeling like, okay, I can do it now, or we can hold the container until we find someone else to, take us on to the next 5 years. So back to the 7 C's. When you are looking for spiritual leadership, and again, I just I'm connecting what I know and feel, and again, each one of these, please figure out how to put it in your toolbox. Character, connection, right? Cognition, capability, and that's a big one. You don't want a leader that you're like, okay, he can't handle this. Compassion, confidence, and commitment. That's all juicy stuff. And think about the prayers and the treatments that we can as a spiritual community, excuse me, and as we welcome others. These are great qualities that translates and crosses over into all leadership roles. And especially now for spiritual leaders and leadership, we're not a mother's church anymore. I always say, and I'll give you another story about my center. I'm like, we are a spiritual service center. We do everything, right? And people are not just looking to come on Sunday and hear a great message and listen to some good music. There is, as remember, I read the definition, there's a lifestyle. It's a philosophy. It's just a wonderful place you want to be and a community you want to join. And when we start to know and be the leaders in our own community, our own families, that's how we grow. That's how everyone wants to know what's going on over there at Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. I might need to go check them out. So that's the kind of thing that for us going into 2021, we are the philosophy and religion that everyone's looking for. They are looking for this kind of love. So be the example and be the love that you seek. My center, and just give you a quick story on how we're coming together. So our senior minister is on the leave of absence. And before he officially took his leave, and I'll just speak for me, I was feeling a little disconnected, only because I had so many things going on, especially my own personal health. And then Miss COVID hit. But what we did was upped our meeting. And again, if you can't go out the door and hit traffic or leave work and then try to get to the center, Zoom is amazing these days. We embraced it, and we met every 2 weeks. And this is in the beginning, and I never felt more connected to my ecclesiastical team. So we looked and we learned and we lifted the center up. So as Reverend Jeff was starting to get into challenges, we were already informed. We were already knowing and working together. And again, how we relay that to our spiritual community is that we showed that leadership. We showed that leadership with love. We came at everybody like, okay, we got this place. We got it. And we got it. Things are flourishing. And we got the love for Reverend Jeff. And the best thing for somebody going out on leave is to make sure that everything is okay and he doesn't have to worry. So we just became stronger. One of my big things too is you got to involve the practitioners. I'm a practitioner for life, but practitioners are your core, your heartbeat, and they are also and can pray with the community or hold that container for everyone around, just not that one person, that one minister, but as you show a united front of love, that's how you uplift and you hold a spiritual community, especially in a time like COVID. So as Reverend Jeff finally, or at the last beginning of the year, he took his leave of absence. The ecclesiastical team, me and the other staff ministers, plus our admin, because she knows where all the bones are buried. We are the ecclesiastical team, and we came up with a list of all the things, and that's our responsibility, what is necessary to do and what is necessary to communicate. We created an online list so everybody knows where and what they're going to see and feel us. And we're going to step in to where Reverend Jeff might have been part of the little subgroups or the HR and the keeper of the center. And it has been amazing. And here is the next thing. We also are embracing everybody at the center. And just like today, and I love how the team came together to set this service up. We have to, we got a line of people who want to help with the Sunday service. So we asked for a spotter, a highlighter, somebody who can work the video. We have a team that comes together so well to create that Sunday service virtually. It makes my heart warm. We also have a Wednesday night service, and we have someone else that leads that. And as long the ecclesiastical team, we've now filled out the Sundays and Wednesdays for the next 6 months. Looking consciously, for example, next month is Black History Month. So we're going to speak from the pulpit or from the talks using African American ministers, me one, and also sharing some of the knowledge from African American New Thought authors. So again, we're taking time to really look at our community. And sometimes you know, as a senior minister, you forget those things, and you get an email later from somebody who is like, oh, we have to be conscious, more conscious of this or that. So we are also sharing that with the community and being involved at the practitioner meetings and explaining what and our thought process. Actually, today, at my center, we have Practitioner Sunday. They haven't had that in so long. So we have practitioners talking today, and then there's going to be a question and answer. And that has been so well received. We planned another one in March. So I'm excited to show that example of leadership that steps up, communities that step up, and that spiritual leadership comes with continuous practices supporting those practices, whether you're a practitioner or you're a staff minister. We have laity who are creating safe bubbles just to have that conversation. We have a health and wellness team that's checking in on people. Here's the thing I want to say and leave with you as a United Center or a big center. I can't tell you, the parking lot looks amazing. People have been in there, striping the lines, cleaning them up and painting them. Our garden looks amazing. The flower pots are just blooming and they're shined up and they're painted. Somebody did the gutters. I just whatever you can do and step up and go in and help. Put a mask on, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a team of people led by a senior minister and lunches in the in the conference room. Just take time out. And I love just meditating in a garden and you're pulling weeds and whatever. All I know is that center or our center is sparkling and so ready when we're finally going to be together. And then technology. This is actually a different format that I have been using, and I'm excited to bring this back to our center. And I am on Facebook. I'm on a YouTube page. There's so many ways that we are coming together in this time with technology classes. And we just finished a visioning. We started a visioning class, but before the beginning of the year, we just did. If those of you who remember the cut and paste of a vision board, we did it online. I can't tell you how many wonderful images Miss Google has. And you can add video. So if you want to be Mariah Carey in the next year, put a video of her on your vision board. So those kind of tools and that kind of stepping up is the way our centers are going to open our doors and our consciousness to those around us who need us. So as I end, can you put up the last slide, Annette? I love this. We all have a leader inside of us. I call it a superhero. We either choose to nurture it or let it wither. And I know, the spiritual bypass, we always talk about, if you just treat, you don't have to do anything. But isn't it much fun? Or you can enjoy it more if you nurture it, add some spice to it. Add as you read the book again, and the community goes through this on Reverend Jim, what else can you add to it to have fun? And that word or having fun is in our mission statement at our center. And guess who's the fun? Me. So again, crazy hats or crazy food, whatever you can do to nurture your community. And it doesn't have to be led by one single person. You all have a leader inside of you. So I'm going to end this talk. Thank you, Annette, for hosting with me with slides. The last thing, again, ATM, affirmations, treatment, meditation, adding your up level your spiritual practices for 2021. Start adding it up and share them too. That's also one way to bring community together. And I'm going to leave you with this quote from Ernest Holmes. And practitioners, you know the truth about this. When prayer removes distrust, fear, and doubt, then enters the field of mental certainty, it becomes faith. Ernest Holmes. So we need to remove that distrust. Those leaders who give us, create fear and untruths, we move that out of the way. And again, as Ernest Holmes tells us, we replace fear with the truth of faith. And so it is. Now I'm all excited. Thank you. And let's go into treatment prayer. Spiritual mind treatment. Hmm. What a glorious wet day here in the Bay Area, and it's very well needed. So that water, that love, and my poor kitty had he lost his mind as water hit the window. It's all God. It's a spirit. It's a love. It's a truth that we have seen just lift this planet up. My community, your community, the those in the community that are truly blessed. I am using that love and that mind and that truth of God right here, right now. I am one. So as I, Reverend Tony Bradford, just stand in truth, I know that same thing for me is the same for each and every one of you at the sound of my voice. God is within you, walks through you, walks with you. And that is truly what each and every one of us does inside. And it shines outside in our spiritual community. So I am grateful, thankful for technology, how it just stretches and it connects us across this great country, and also visitors and family. They're up a little earlier, which is good in the East Coast. So they are already starting their day by the time my center comes on in the West Coast. So I'm excited, and I'm wonderfully touched that those family members can reach out and be part of this journey that I call my spiritual truth. So as I just add to the spiritual truth of there is nothing to be healed, only love to be revealed. Be the love in your life. Walk and talk right here, right now, because I know I am doing that. And I know that there's only one of us. So let's skip, walk, jump, whatever you got to do. Be that love today, because the love you seek is already within you. And as soon as we stand, and I know I'm doing that, all of a sudden people around me go, what's different with you? Who you're dating? And I'm like, I'm dating myself. So that's how we stand in the truth and know. Spiritual tools. I am so blessed that I am adding each and every spiritual tool to my big toolbox, and I can pull anyone out at any time and be that tool. Also, share that tool. So I'm grateful for this opportunity that Reverend Kay has given me. Thank you, Spiritual Center in Rio Grande, Albuquerque, New Mexico. I am forever grateful, and it is a blessing to send light and love to all of you out there. So I am ending by sending and knowing the truth of this prayer, and I am grateful and thankful for my word today. So I will send this into the activity of love and law, letting go, letting God, and seal it by saying, and so it is. Whew. Namaste.
And so it is. Thank you so much, Reverend Tony. Oh my goodness. I've got some chills over here, and I'm affirming we are being love right here and right now. And in this moment of affirming and knowing and feeling this thing that happens in us and for us and through us when we actively set that intention to be love, we want to share that abundance. I know I do. I start thinking of ways to share this abundance that I feel. And so now it is time to share our financial abundance. And I know that Annette's going to be posting fairly quickly ways to give across the screen. There are multiple ways to give. You can text give to a phone number there. You can go to the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living website and press the donate button. So we have text to give. You can donate online, or I'm sure you can probably also send in a check. And I'd love to have Annette put up the giving affirmation so that you can all join me in saying it. I am abundant, and I give from my abundance. I am prosperous, and I give from my prosperity. I am blessed, and I give from my blessings. My blessings of spirit are as abundant as the stars. And so I give and receive generously. And so it is. And I'd love to bring back the band to play another song while we are doing our participation in our own abundance.
Here's You Gotta Be by Desiree.
Listen as your day unfolds. Challenge what the future holds. Try and keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. Stand up and be counted. Don't be ashamed to cry. You gotta be bad. You gotta be bold. You gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard. You gotta be tough. You gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool. You gotta be calm. You gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. Remember what your mother said. Read the books your father read. Try to solve the puzzles in your own sweet time. Some may have more cash than you. Others take a different view. Oh, my, hey, hey, hey. You gotta be bad, gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, gotta be tough, gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. Time gotta be all without you, leaving you behind. The world keeps on spinning, you can't stop it if you try to. The best part is just you in the rain. Listen as your day unfolds. Challenge what the future holds. How to keep your head up to the sky. Moments they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. Oh, my, hey, hey, hey. Gotta be bad, gotta be bold, gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, gotta be tough, gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, gotta be calm, gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. You gotta be bad, gotta be bold, gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, gotta be tough, gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, gotta be calm, gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. Got to be bold, got to be bad, got to be wild, not ever sad. Got to be hard, not too hard. All I know is gonna save the day. You gotta be bad, gotta be bold, gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, gotta be tough, gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, gotta be calm, gotta stay together. All I know is gonna save the day. All I know is love will save the day. All I know is love will save the day. All I know is love will save the day.
Thank you once again to the band. Loving the music today, very much so. And so I give this blessing for this offering, knowing that everything that comes into this center, the treasure that comes in, the time that comes in, the talent that comes in, all of the giving and all of the absolutely glorious and multitude ways of giving are coming into the center from full and glorious and abundant, loving hearts. And so it is with a loving heart that I bless this offering, knowing that the good continues, that it came from abundance and it goes into abundance and it goes out as abundance. It is said that as we give, so shall we receive. And I am affirming right here and right now, the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living is receiving as they are giving. And it is great and good and very good. And so this offering is now duly blessed. And I anchor with those wonderful words. And so it is. And now I would like to introduce Dr. Norm, who is going to give us our announcements today.
Good morning, Karen. Thank you very much.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
don't forget, after our service, join us on Zoom for fellowship and discussion. That's the first announcement. So the second announcement is we have 2 classes and 1 workshop coming up. Treatment and meditation facilitated by Reverend Karen, and exploring roots facilitated by Kamatara Johnson, Christine Duvall, and Marilyn O'Leary. So be sure and check out the adult education link on the RGCSL website to register for more information. Third announcement, the board of directors, staff, and practitioners of RGCSL are embarking on new and wonderful things for our community. We want to fulfill our mission and vision statements, particularly love in action and connection. And to do so, we want your input. So do you have a bright idea? Well, we'd love to hear about it. And so far, we have been presented with 2 bright ideas. One, we've heard from a congregant on starting a book club, and another one wants to put into place a once-a-week meditation meetup. So let's hear some more. We want to see a raise of hands and send your ideas to Reverend Karen and Carmela, or just call the center, and we'll help you put together a little 1-minute speech to share with the community at Sunday service. See you next week.
Thank you so much, Norm. And I want to just mention that for our gathering afterwards, if you've received the newsletter, and if you're here, you should be receiving the newsletter. And the link, the Zoom link for our after service gathering is available for you. And it's now 3 minutes to 10. No, it's your time. It's 3 minutes to 11. It's 3 minutes to 10 my time. So give us about 10 minutes to migrate over to the Zoom room and meet us there in about 10 minutes. And now I am going to turn it over to Chaplain Talia, our practitioner of the day in charge of invocations and benedictions, and let her pray us out. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Reverend Karen. So I have to say, my heart is full. I am filled with the divine wisdom of this service, of Reverend Tony Bradford, of Reverend Karen, Reverend Kamatara, she's the Reverend to me already, and all of the musicians and our technical guru. I give thanks. I give thanks for all of you here present, for we are all one, participating in the wisdom that's been shared, with the love that just grows more and more, of which we are all a part, that defines us and exudes from us in all that we are and all that we be, whether we be in treatment or we be at work or we be at home. It is what we are. And so with this love and this leadership, as Reverend Tony has reminded us, that we have within us, let us be inspired by his words and put this into play as we put our spiritual practices into play each day, so that we walk from this service even more committed, even more full of love in our practice, in our lives, and in our oneness. And we enact that spirituality at the heart of who we are. So grateful. I want to extend blessings to all of you on behalf of myself and the center and the divine, so that you enjoy your time from here, that you take it with you and be in it. So please say with me, with gratitude, and so it is.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, I think to myself, what a wonderful